AutoCAD's move and copy commands work side by side, giving us the ability to quickly reposition or duplicate our entities. Now I say side by side because these commands essentially work the same way. Let me show you what I mean. We're going to look at the move command first. Let me open a drawing. I'm going to go into our exercise files folder and let's go to chapter 7. Let me open up that folder and we're going to open up the move and copy drawing. Now, as I said, we're going to look at the move command first. I've got a couple of squares on my screen. We're going to use these squares to learn how the move and copy command work. Let's say I would like to move this small square from the upper left-hand corner to the upper right-hand corner of the big square. I can do that by coming over to my Modify toolbar and clicking on the Move command. When I launch the command, AutoCAD asks me to select objects. What objects do you want to move? I'm going to come over and click on my square, and then I'm going to right-click so that AutoCAD knows I'm done selecting objects. Now AutoCAD's asking me to specify a base point. From what logical point would I like to pick up this square? Well, I have a running object snap set for endpoint, so I'm going to move right over here and I'm going to click at this endpoint. I have just picked the square up from that endpoint. Now AutoCAD's asking me specify a second point. Where do you want to put this square down? I'm going to move over to the right side. Once again, I've got a running object snap, so I'm just going to hover very close to this endpoint and click. I've just moved the square from one side to the other. I'm going to come up and click my undo button and we'll put that guy back. Now I just moved that square using object snaps. We can also move entities using direct distance entry. Let's try that. I'm going to launch the move command. AutoCAD says select objects. Let me grab this object. Now that he's highlighted, I'm going to right click so AutoCAD knows I'm done making my selection. AutoCAD wants me to pick a base point. Let's pick the lower right-hand corner. So I will click to select that. We'll click on our ortho to lock it. And I'm just going to pull to the right. I'm going to pull in the 0 degree direction. And I'm going to type in 10 for a distance and hit enter. I just moved that square 10 units to the right, or 10 units in the 0 degree direction. Let me undo again. Let's try using the copy command. Copy has the exact same workflow as move, except we get to keep our original when we're done. If I'd like to copy this square from one corner to the other, I'm going to come over to my Modify toolbar and click the copy icon. At this point, AutoCAD asks me to select objects. Let me select the square. I'll right-click to finish the selection. Now, from what logical location would I like to pick up this square? I'm going to pick it up from the endpoint right here. I'm now holding it. And where would I like to place my copy? Well, I'd like to place it at the endpoint right here. Notice I'm still in the copy command. AutoCAD defaults to a multiple copy. That means if I wanted to, I could drop one at the endpoint here. I could drop one at the endpoint here. I could keep dropping these things all day long. When I'm all done with the command, I can right-click and select Exit. Let me click Undo one more time. I want to show you something that's kind of unusual with Move and Copy. Unusual but helpful. Let me undo. I'm going to use the Move command one more time. Let me launch Move. AutoCAD asks me to select objects. Let me select this square, and I'll right-click to finish the selection. Now, from what point would I like to pick up this square? Let's pick it up from the endpoint right here. I'll just click and I'll grab this point. Notice I'm in the Move command, yet AutoCAD is still showing me the ghosted image of where that square was. I have access to the object snaps of the now ghosted square. So I could move it from the endpoint where I picked it up, and I could place it, and I could drop it to the lower right-hand corner of where it was. Let me click, and I've completed my move. Let's try and use Move and Copy in a practical example. I'm going to back up. If I pan this drawing up a little bit, I've got a drawing of some parking stalls. I actually have one handicap stall down here on the end. Now, technically, this guy was drawn incorrectly. Usually a parking stall will have the symbol on the left side and the hatch pattern on the right. Let's take and reverse this. I'm going to do that using Move and Copy. I'm going to come over and launch my Move command. AutoCAD says move what? Let's move the symbol first. I'm going to left-click on the symbol to highlight it and then right-click to finish the selection. Now, from what point would I like to pick up this symbol? Well, all I have to do is find points that are in common. For instance, I could pick him up from the endpoint of this line, and I could place him to the endpoint of this line. Between both stalls, those points are common. Let's move the hatch pattern and the ramp to the other side. Once again, I'm going to launch the move command, so I'm going to right-click and repeat move. AutoCAD's asking me to select objects. Let's select the hatch pattern and this bottom stripe. We'll also select our ramp and these 2 extra lines. When I'm all done making selections, I will right-click to let the computer know I'm done. From what point would I like to pick up these entities? I'll pick them up from the endpoint right here, and I'll place them to the endpoint there. That's not bad. I've got a little problem over here. Let's just take and copy the stripe. I'm going to use the copy command. Copy. I will copy this line, right-click to finish the selection, and I'll copy it from the endpoint here and place it to the endpoint there. When I'm all done with the copy command, I can right-click and select exit. Let's do one more thing. I happen to have 1 handicap stall. What if I needed 2 more? There's no reason for me to have to redraft the other 2 stalls. I've got one perfectly good one right here. Let's copy it. I'm going to use the copy command. We'll grab the symbol, the hatch, and the end. We'll grab the ramp, and I'll click each one of these lines. Everything's now selected. I will right-click to finish the selection, and I will pick them up from the endpoint here. That point happens to be common right here. That point's also common right here. When I'm all done with the copy command, I can right-click and hit exit, or don't forget, you can always hit your escape key. As you can see, the functionality of the move and copy commands are essentially the same. The only real difference is whether or not your selected objects remain in their original position. Knowing how to use these commands can save us a great deal of time over redrawing our entities.